First of all, visually, it's beautiful.
I think the racing sequences are great, shot beautifully, cinematography gorgeous. The movie as a whole looks awesome. The aesthetic, the atmosphere, Michael Mann knows how to build that up. But
battle sequences are beautifully photographed by cinematographer Dariusz Wolski.
Visually, the creator looks fantastic, to the point where I had to double check the budget.
As beautiful as the CGI is, as well as the cinematography.
I think that the music's great, I think the cinematography's great, I think everything works well.
Shoots on film, he does everything practically. Sequences are also visually dazzling, combined with an incredible score by
The Creator. Should you go out and see The Creator? It is visually impressive, very stunning.
I look forward to seeing more of what's in store from him. Saltburn, like Promising Young Woman, is stylishly directed by Fennell with fantastic cinematography from Oscar winner Linus Sandgren, who
I thought the film looked really good, had a real tactile feeling to it. It kind of, it's a very physical film.
What I really like about this movie, for starters, is it looks slick as hell.
As well as pristine cinematography, camera work, and special effects.
I've seen movies with astronomically larger budgets be dwarfed by the visuals in this film.
incredibly imaginative world aesthetically. Say what you will about Snyder's scripts, but his movies generally look damn good, and Rebel Moon is often a stunning looking film.
Honestly, I am tired of that expression. Give it a break. Oh, it looks beautiful. You know what? The film's amazing, but it looks beautiful. You know what? The film's kind of poor, but it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Oh, the lush cinematography. The cinematography was amazing. The cinematography by X was amazing. The film looks beautiful. The film looks beautiful. The film looks gorgeous. The film looks beautiful. I am tired of that expression. It's lazy. I'm not having a go at any of these YouTube film critics specifically. So here's the thing. I love a beautiful film as much as the next person. Now, we are now in the year 2024. At the time of making this video, we're now in the year 2023. So, in the year 2023, when I can get a beautiful image off of my bloody phone. Now, why do I hate this expression? Is it lazy?
Yep.
Easy?
Yep. Yep.
Is it commonplace? You're damn right.
You're goddamn right.
But here's where I really get annoyed by the statement. I'm gonna be honest with you. To make anything look good nowadays is pretty damn simple.
You can't say that.
There are plenty of film critics on YouTube who are producing wonderful visuals just by using their camera and a light. Now I've got a light right here, which I'm going to show you. This is my light. This is what I'm currently filming. Honestly speaking, it's a light. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't look incredible. This is not the best lighting you're ever going to see in your life, but it's possible. I've done this with a 50 quid light. Now, filmmakers like Terrence Malick, he prefers to use natural light. There are other more naturalistic directors who prefer a more naturalistic look to their filmmaking. Again, just using daylight. So, when I see a film like The Creator, which does look visually stunning, but it did cost $80 million, it better look visually stunning. I guess I'm just at a place in my, maybe in my life, but also in my filmmaking career where the idea of something looking visually stunning bores me to death. When I first got into filmmaking, I was fascinated by things looking visually stunning. I was fascinated by long, steady cam shots that lasted 15 minutes. I adored quick cutting. As I became more mature and I settled down, and I studied film, I realized it really doesn't mean much at all. If I can give you the best comparison I can think of, here's the best comparison.
And I get come up to by this guy and his girlfriend, and we were interrupted in the middle of talking and eating, and he said, "Hey, Mia Khalifa, can I get a picture with you?" And I looked up at him and I'm like, "No, we're eating."
Granted, she's visually stunning, but the things she's saying aren't stunning. Are they? They're actually the opposite of stunning. Now, everyone loves them some Mia Khalifa, But is this stunning?
All right, what do you think the world needs more, your outfits or safe abortions?
Definitely safe abortions.
Okay, yes, she is stunning, but is this stunning?
What statement are you making with this outfit? Politically.
Under boob.
No, it's not. It's not stunning. Now, I don't want to say that a film like The Creator is comparable to Mia Khalifa.
After I said that, his girlfriend, who was standing next to him, grabbed him by the arm and said, I told you that wasn't her. There's not enough on her face.
But I guess I am saying that because, quite frankly, the film The Creator is visually stunning. The CGI is wonderful. The script, on the other hand,
It's not good.
it's not the worst by any means. I enjoyed the film, apart from the last third of the film, which was trash. Is The Creator just like Mia Khalifa? Well, yes. Is Rebel Moon comparable to Julia Fox?
It's just unfair.
What's unfair about it?
Okay, if I were president, I would just give guns to every woman.
Got it.
And not any guns to any men.
Got it.
Because I feel like if they can have a penis, which is a weapon of mass destruction,
Wow.
it can be.
Wow.
It can be. I think that women should be allowed to have the same. I think it equals the playing field. I think we wouldn't get f***ed with so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it is.
I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Right.
Yeah. So here's where I kind of contradict myself. This is the counterpoint to what I'm saying. The best films that I have seen have all been visually stunning. And it's not because they have the latest technology. Some of them are not even modern day films. I'd say a majority of them are not modern day films. The masterpiece that is Citizen Kane, although a lot of people don't seem to like it nowadays, it's kind of one of those films where people go, oh, you're one of those film lovers, are you? One of the greatest films of all time was made in 1941. It's a long time ago. I think it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a long time ago. And the cinematography is absolutely stunning. Now, the film's black and white. To the TikTok generation, that's probably a big turn-off, but the film is visually stunning. The cinematographer, Greg Toland, is one of the best cinematographers of all time. Now, how did he make the film visually stunning? He used shadows to shape the scenes. He uses wide lenses to create beautiful, vast depths of which the actors can play within. Now, the director, Orson Welles, came from a stage background, so a lot of his shots are like you're watching a stage play, but one of the greatest stage plays of all time. The film is visually stunning, and it was made many, many eons ago. But it is an outlier in that sense, because not all films of that age are your typical stunning film. The greatest cinematographers of all time is James Wong Howe. During the 1930s and the 1940s, he was one of the most prevalent and in-demand cinematographers in the game. His dream as a cinematographer was to work with as little lights as possible, famously stating that working with one light only was his dream. Now, a lot of feature films, a lot of Hollywood films work with multiple lights on set. Occasionally, someone like Roger Deakins will just have one light.
There's the scene where they had all these flares going up over the top of the town, and those flares were lighting the whole scene.
So we needed to figure out how much time the flares needed to be in the air to get the look we were after.
But most cinematographers work with more than one light, and they use things like key lights and backlights and fill lights, and they use all sorts of tools to implement and to attain the looks they're going for. James Wong Howe wanted to narrow it down to just one light, and he was one of the most sought after cinematographers of his age. So, is it really the tools? Because as I said before, Terrence Malick seeks sunlight as his primary source to shoot a film. So to really frame this conversation, I think we have to answer the question, what is beautiful?
Politically.
Under boob.
No, not her. Stop thinking about her.
That's why we have to stick together and reclaim our power and stop letting men use us, control us, coerce us. Even if they're friendly or nice, it doesn't matter. They have a hidden agenda, and you need to be working on yourself, getting your money. If you have to do whatever to be independent, do it. But don't ever catch feelings. That'll derail the whole thing, and you have to start from scratch. So it's better to just not even date.
Concentrate on me now. What is beautiful? Is this beautiful? Is this beautiful? Is this beautiful? Well, the thing is, they're all beautiful. I know, it seems like I'm copping out here, but I'm not. Without sounding like some pretentious art student, art is beautiful in all forms. Your minimalistic directors like Mike Leigh and Roger Altman and Ken Loach, Shane Meadows is another director. They all try and create this real sense of naturalism, which I think is just as beautiful as someone who's as thoughtful with his optics, like Sam Mendes, for example. They're both very comparable. Now, one may be naturally more beautiful, like this.
Wait a minute, who the fuck is Julia Fox?
Yep, there you go, there she is again. Or there may be someone like this.
You know, it's proven that secondhand smoke is carcinogen, a cancer agent.
I think this is beautiful. Now, Steve Buscemi. Oh, God. Okay, let's get back on track. Yes, Steve Buscemi. Beautiful. Look at that face. Absolutely beautiful. Steve Buscemi's beautiful. Look at him. That face says so much, and that face says so much. And Steve Buscemi is the perfect example of why that face says so much. There's so much beauty on that face. Now, Steve Buscemi is the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
What is the real beauty in the film? I would say the real beauty in a film is the everlasting message, but that sounds so corny. So I could try and change that and say the narrative or the script or the acting. I could change it to any number of things, the music, whatever. It's all kind of irrelevant. Essentially, if your film looks like this...
Forget it.
Why don't you tell
Why?
me?
Forget
Come
it, dude.
Is it some secret?
No, forget it. I'll talk to you later.
But then sounds like this.
Don't worry about it. I still love you. Good night, Lisa.
Then unfortunately, you've made a bad film.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Hey, again, that's subjective. Art is subjective. So as you can tell, what I'm trying to say, in a very convoluted way, is that it doesn't matter how good your film looks. It's actually wholly irrelevant. How your film looks and how your film feels are two very different things. And to temper that, I'd rather make a film that is ugly, but moves my audience. If you look at the earlier work of Yorgos Lanthimos, I've definitely butchered that. Definitely butchered. Let me check that name.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah, I butchered it. If you look at his earlier work, really subdued in terms of the visual style, in terms of the way it's shot. Is it to do with budget? Well, maybe. It might be to do with budget. But I actually think that what this does is lend another sense of purpose to the film. It actually adds to the film by way of its cinematography, being more dulled, being more dampened, being more naturalistic. Again, that term, naturalistic.
What happened?
She jumped from the window of room 180. There's blood and biscuits everywhere.
I hope she dies right away. On second thoughts, I hope she suffers quite a bit before she dies. I just hope her pathetic screams can't be heard from my room. Because I was thinking about having a lie down, and I need peace and quiet.
Now, if you look at the director's most recent work, Poor Things, starring Emma Stone and the wonderful Mark Ruffalo, you'll see, Emma Stone, you're wonderful too, you'll see that actually he's gone for a very different visual style here. His last film, which was an Oscar darling, The Favourite.
Queen is an extraordinary person.
They were all staring, weren't they? I can tell even if I can't see, and I heard the word fat, and ugly.
Again, it goes for a more beautiful way of filming. But unlike many of his contemporaries, it actually adds to the story. Now, I'm not going to shoot a Hollywood blockbuster and make it look like I've just shut down my local pub. Although Edgar Wright did that, so well done to you. It's pretty good, actually. So maybe I dial back on that point. But if I'm Michael Bay, and I've got a wonderful actor like Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery... Welcome to The Rock. I'm probably not going to be looking for a more naturalistic look to my film. Sean, we haven't forgotten this interview.
I remember you said you don't do it with a clenched fist, it's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good.
You don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it.
Wild. Wild. You'd be cancelled now. Wild. We haven't forgotten. But here's the thing. If I'm someone like Martin Scorsese, I probably don't want to shoot a film like Michael Bay. I mean, just imagine Goodfellas with a light here and a light there and light there. I don't know what I'm doing here. That's terrible. So, what's the conclusion here? Am I saying that more naturalistic films are better than blockbuster Hollywood films? No, I'm not. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, much like my last video, which I break down and construct why camera angles aren't that important and why a number of takes in a shot, again, is very subjective to the film you're shooting. It's all about the tools and how you handle the tools. You can give a paintbrush to a cat and the cat may paint you something beautiful, but probably not. You can hand it to Banksy and he'll probably go, I'm not Banksy, so don't give it to me. You don't know what I look like. Although I think we do now know what he looks like. Do we now know what he looks like? Let me Google that. Yep, we know what he looks like now. It's official. The point is, he would paint something quite tremendous. Although technically he doesn't really paint, but you get my point. And in the case of someone like Ken Loach, if you gave him a Hollywood blockbuster budget and you told him to go shoot a movie, he'd still shoot something like this.
A whole way of life, just gone forever.
When you eat together, you stick together.
My mother always said that.
Some of the greatest films I've ever seen are very subdued in tone. There's a wonderful French film which, honestly speaking, the cinematography is okay, by the name of The Intouchables. I've definitely butchered that one. Let me Google that one too. Intouchable. Whenever I think of The Intouchables, I do not think of the cinematography. I think of the amazing acting by Omar Sy, by the incredible storyline, which is based on a true story. I think of the dancing.
Please. Please. Non, je réponds pas. C'est bon.
I think of the incredibly sweet ending. For the film, in terms of cinematography, I don't think of that at all. Now, the remake, which is called The Upside, which is just a stupid title, it's an even worse film. Listen, if you've seen the original and then you've seen The Upside, you'll be thoroughly disappointed. So I would suggest you erase that film from your mind, go and watch The Intouchables, and then watch The Upside again, and you'll see what I mean. But if you look at the production values of the two films, one film has that Hollywood gloss to it. The other one has a more naturalistic French style to it. Now, on a personal level, I prefer the French version. Not just because of the cinematography. I mean, everything's better. Literally everything's better. Even the bloody credits are better. I don't want to sit down in a multiplex cinema with an IMAX screen watching a beautiful film for 3 hours. Honestly speaking, I have better things to do with my time. However, I wouldn't mind sitting down watching a 3-hour version of The Intouchables. I actually don't know why film critics are using this as a crutch. I think it's potentially because we're in a different time. And I think in this day and age, everyone's a film critic. Everyone understands what cinematography is now. It's more of a cultural consciousness about what cinematography is and about how things look good. This most likely is down to the fact that everyone has one of these. And now, Everyone's making content. Whether or not you think you're making content, you're making content. I would say a majority of the people you know has some form of social media, whether it's Facebook, a dating app, whether it's Instagram. And on the social media is their mug or someone else's mug or a landscape. Everyone has become a photographer. Everyone has become a videographer, if not a cinematographer. So the idea of something being beautiful is now in the cultural consciousness, which is probably why film critics now refer to films being beautiful a lot more than they did in the past. It may also be that there's more film critics. Now there's 1,000 film critics on YouTube, whereas back in the past you'd maybe turn on your TV and have one film critic talking about how beautiful the film is. So maybe it hasn't increased. Who knows? But I would say this. If your film in this day and age doesn't look beautiful for whatever reason, you are going wrong somewhere and you need to redirect your thoughts to something else. Because it's very hard nowadays for a film not to look beautiful. There really is no excuse. In this day and age, you can buy a consumer camera for £500 and create a beautiful image. You can get an LED light and create a usable image, as I'm doing right now. So, no, film critics, don't stop saying films are beautiful. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying that I'm tired of hearing it. But the reason I'm tired of hearing it is because I know for a fact that most films nowadays should look beautiful. There's a film I saw last year called Bado, False Chronicles of a Handful of Truths. Hell of a long title, hell of a long film. It looks fantastic. The narrative is jumbled. If you are a filmmaker and your idea is to create a beautiful film, I would suggest you have a look at the most recent film by Alexander Payne called The Holdovers, which again it looks fine. The storyline, the acting, and how I felt after the film was finished is incomparable to a film like Bado.
I can't fail this class.
Oh, don't sell yourself short, Mr. Coates. I truly believe that you can.
Remember, the right tools for the right thing. The way The Holdovers looks would not work in Rebel Moon. Now, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. I make video essays, I make music essays, I talk about filmmaking, I sometimes delve into life advice, which kind of weird. Big love, and I'll speak to you soon.
Uncut Jam.
Right. I was just Safety's news when he read Uncut James. Uncut Jam. Past me is Uncut Jam.
Uncut Jams. Uncut Jams.
Under boob.